Hey guys, so it's been a bit since I've done a YouTube video and I just wanted to come back with an update on my nervous system regulation and my brain retraining that I've been doing. So last time I talked to you guys, I was doing DNRS and I had done my review and explaining why DNRS did not work for me personally. Since then, I found a program called Primal Trust. And I have been doing Primal Trust since December. So it has been December, January, February, March, April. So it has been about 3.5 months, I would say, that I have been doing Primal Trust. And I wanted to give my review on my experience. I did Regulate within Primal Trust, and Regulate started last year in like October, I believe. Sometime last year it started. So I started it in December. So Regulate is brand new to Primal Trust. So I'm going to start with when I found Primal Trust, what my thoughts were, and what made me seal the deal on signing up. So when I was first looking, I was trying to find a program that had some bottom-up approaches, because I understood the concept of the brain retraining, but I really needed more trauma processing and really connecting with the body. And that was something that I wanted to learn more about, and I was not getting in DNRS. Plus, like I had said before, I just didn't connect with DNRS. I knew there was something missing. I knew I needed a different approach. So when I found Primal Trust, one thing that really was intriguing to me was how many different elements were brought into this program. So there was live classes, so there was the community aspect, there was the step-by-step videos where you would watch little incremental videos, you would have homework to do, there was pre-recorded classes that you can go click on at any time to do these different classes. All the classes were in different categories. So you could find somatics class, meditations, you could find sound baths. There was a bunch of different options. Also, Primal Trust had brain retraining. It had top-down and bottom-up approaches. There was a creative aspect to Primal Trust, which I actually loved. So for maybe about a month, they had a different creative project for us to do every day. And I loved that because I work really well with creative ways of learning. They also have a forum, so you can ask questions within the community and everybody can chime in and respond. They also have the option of one-on-one coaches. You can get a mentor, and then they have an app called Signal. So the app is called Signal. You join there and you can do buddy rounds. So you can join another person and you can do your practices with the other person. Also within that app Signal, you could join study groups. Now these study groups were in different categories. So you had study groups from people from different parts of the world. There was a Christian study group. Now, I know I'm saying a lot, but there was just so many different parts of Primal Trust that just made me feel like, wow, this has so many elements of all these different programs all in one. So I felt like it was a pretty easy decision, but what really sold it for me was the community part of it, because I know the importance of healing in community. I know the importance of just having connection with people. Often when we are chronically ill, we feel very alone. We feel very misunderstood. A lot of times we don't even have the support of our own family. Our friends don't understand. Maybe our relationships don't understand. So having a community of people that are in the same boat was so powerful. My only last concern was that everything aligned with my faith. I wanted to make sure that everything aligned with my Christian belief and that nothing was going to be going against God. So what I did is I did a discovery call. And when I called, I got to talk to one of the class leaders, and she answered whatever questions that I had, and she told me about the Christian study group. And I was like, okay, well, this makes me feel a lot better. She says, yeah, there's a lot of Christians that had the same concern that you had. And she says, I haven't seen anything come up that I feel is in contrast with the Bible. She was like, but there is a Christian study group, so you can go in there, see how you feel. It's month to month. If it doesn't work for you, you can opt out. Okay, so that sounded pretty good to me. So I immediately joined the Christian group, and honestly, it really has been the best decision for my healing journey so far. One thing that I really love about Primal Trust is Dr. Kat, who is the founder. She really stresses how we need to make this program our own, and we need to work at our own pace. And one thing that was difficult for me within DNRS was feeling like I needed to rush through it, because if I didn't get everything done on the exact timeline with the exact amount of time for my practices, that I was not going to heal. And with this program, the way that it's set up, you have so much freedom, and that's really, really what I needed. I needed the freedom, I needed the creativity, I needed the ability to customize, because I always break the rules. The way that I do things, I make up my own way of doing things, and that's just how I do everything in life. So I really needed that aspect within a program, and that's why Primal Trust really worked for me. The changes that I can say that I have seen through this program is that I have gained an incredible amount of self-awareness, to where I am aware of what my brain's doing and what my body's doing and how they are connecting with each other, how I'm being triggered by things, the different things that trigger me, and the way that my body reacts. I'm completely in tune with all of that. That alone has been so incredibly helpful for me to catch, for me to make sure that I'm not ruminating on that I'm not catastrophizing, that I'm able to just see it, accept it, let it go, move on, reframe it, whatever I need to do. So that's been really great. I've also learned a ridiculous amount of tools that I can use daily. And I am not much of a schedule person, so I'm not somebody who can stick to a routine, but I have learned how to wedge these tools throughout my day where they are needed. So when you practice them enough and you hear about them enough, it really gets wired into your brain. So when you're going about your day, you're subconsciously doing these tools and using these techniques that you learned. So even though you're not setting a block of time aside throughout the day to get everything done back to back, you're doing it throughout your day, and it becomes more of a lifestyle. And that's kind of how it's become for me. Am I perfect at it? No. There's some days where I'm like, my gosh, I didn't hardly do anything today. And there's some days where I'm like, wow, I've used my tools all throughout the day. One big question is, am I healed? No. I'm not healed. I still have a lot of symptoms that I deal with, but I can say that I have the ability to manage my symptoms a lot better than I did before. The symptoms don't last as long. I'm able to flow through them, versus before, I felt like I really held on to those symptoms because I didn't know how to cope with them. So I'm noticing that I have more capacity to cope with the symptoms when they arise. I have more self-awareness to be able to catch things right away. I do see that even though I still have symptoms in my body, my thought process has done the most changing throughout this. So I've learned a lot about myself. Moving forward, I'm going to continue using the tools that I've learned. I know statistically, people say that it takes about 6 months of repetition before you build new neural pathways in your mind and you see some solid results. So I'm going to continue on, and I have just joined the mentorship part of Primal Trust. And this is where we really dig a little bit deeper in processing our past trauma. So I'm just starting that, and I will come back with an update about that portion of it and let you know how that's going. So I hope you enjoyed my review. I hope this helped you if you were on the fence on trying to figure out what program you want to join. I hope this answered any questions. If you have any additional questions, drop them in the comment box below and I will answer those for you. So like this video, follow me, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.